Welcome back to the Midweek Update. Hey Mepham, welcome to the first Midweek Update of 2021.
We've had a few weeks off as B&B students followed stories around the district, but now we're back to take a look at some of the experience students and teachers have had virtually learning and what the year has been like for college freshmen so far.
This and more as we take a look at what's going on this week on the Midweek Update. I'm Haley Hepworth.
And I'm Hannah Broxmeyer, and welcome back to the Midweek Update, the B&B show that brings you closer to the people and places in and around the Mepham community.
We focused a lot on Mepham's class of 2020 last spring, but what has life been for them this year?
Now that they finished a first semester of college, B&B's AJ Freed spoke to a few of them to hear about their experience so far.
COVID-19 has affected people all around the world in more ways than none. Although B&B has covered how the lives of high school students and middle school students, teachers, and staff have changed during these times, college students have had it equally as bad as high school students, if not worse, due to their higher level of responsibility and large amounts of work. Students who went away to college realized their situation wasn't going to be easier as the winter arrived.
As a freshman, it's been pretty tough. Obviously, a big part of it is like adapting to the environment, figuring out how to adjust into a college life and meeting all new people. So obviously all of that, the different aspects of it, is tampered with COVID. So you're not able to really go out and meet as many people as you want. I can't go socialize in other people's buildings. Classroom settings are completely different now. It's not like you go talk to the person right next to you. It's like, if you want to do that, you got to scream across the room. So it's completely different. Everything's just been tough, especially trying to adapt and get involved.
Although it was a tough first semester for first-year students who went in person, students who decided to stay at home for the year had difficulties as well.
Not gonna lie, for most of the freshmen, I think it was pretty difficult because that in-person experience is different than learning online. And I think most people would agree that they'd rather learn in person, but I would personally rather go back to in-person classes so I could learn better.
Some colleges plan to have in-person classes for the second semester, but there will be new and improved protocols on campus.
Last semester, it was COVID testing was kind of like when they told you to go down. It wasn't like you had to go a certain amount of times, like a week or something. This semester, it's going to be you have to go once a week to get tested, and if you don't, I guess you get in trouble or something. I don't know the exact protocol for it, but it's going to be you have to go get tested once a week. They're going to hammer down on it, and now that people are getting the vaccine, hopefully it'll be a lot better around the campus.
Yeah, so the class sizes are limited. I think there used to be 500 persons lecture halls, and now they're reduced to 200, and they have safety barriers between the students' seats and stuff. You have to wear a mask on campus at all times. Some of the dining halls are closed. Obviously no parties. Campus life is dead for the most part.
College freshmen may have started the year rough, but each school is doing the best they can to ensure the best and safest learning experience for this year and years to come. From B&B, I'm AJ Freed.
Thanks, AJ. From virtual classes to constant testing to limited socialization, the college freshmen have had a difficult start to the year.
Yeah, but as the year goes on, we're slowly and surely getting back to normalcy. Hopefully, in the incoming months, college students, as well as everyone here in the district, will be able to see their lives before the pandemic.
And in the meantime, we just have to keep doing the best we can with all of the restrictions in place.
One teacher here who has been excelling at teaching mixed in-person and virtual classes has been Miss O'Neill.
B&B's Lily Yepes got to see what the process has been like for her and some of the students.
O'Neill has gone above and beyond in figuring out new ways of teaching during the pandemic to make sure she balances her time between online and in-person students.
All the teachers at Mepham are definitely putting in a lot of effort and working hard to incorporate all the students, but Miss O'Neill goes above and beyond.
I feel like she does a great job. She has her microphone, and I feel like in some classes, the online kids, they don't get enough attention. And I feel like in her class, she does breakout rooms, and she really utilizes everything she can.
Although some teachers have been teaching for most of their lives, they've had to make changes in their classrooms due to COVID-19.
And I do try to create an atmosphere where they feel like they're participating. So I call on them and give them a prep, you'll be answering this question or that question. And I do think that a lot of them feel comfortable to raise their hand or engage in the class as if they were in the classroom in person.
I think Miss O'Neill's doing a really great job. She definitely puts in a lot of effort, and she's put a lot of thought into making sure that all students are like incorporated in the lesson. She goes back and forth like very frequently.
Miss O'Neill's students say that she has done an amazing job adjusting her lessons for remote learners and keeping them involved in classroom discussions. Sometimes it's hard to stay focused when you're at home, but she makes it easy to want to stay involved.
She makes sure we're all like responsible, and like that just because we're online, we're not slacking off or missing work, and she just engages us all.
This year is definitely a year I will not forget in my teaching career. If I write an autobiography, this is definitely getting more than one chapter, and I think I've learned a lot. I think there's been a lot of highs, a lot of lows. I think there's been laughs and moments of frustration, Wi-Fi down, delays, etc. But all in all, I'm really hopeful that, this year was a growing year for everyone, and we'll come out stronger the other side and ready to go back to the times before all of this.
For all the struggles of the pandemic, involving online students in the classroom has been difficult, but Miss O'Neill has made a lasting mark on her students and the new wave of teaching. Teachers in the Mepham community have learned and continue to learn from her teaching styles every day. For B&B, I'm Lily Epez.
Thanks, Lily. Miss O'Neill and all the teachers here in the district have done a great job teaching under these unusual circumstances.
Between students constantly going in and out of quarantine and virtual days inserted into the middle of the weeks, the students and teachers have all had to make some adjustments this year.
Right. Last week when we had some unexpected remote days, the B&B students were tasked with making a short video documentaries showing what their days looked like online.
We got to see one of them on the last morning announcements, and now we can take a look at what B&B's Morgan Hafke does on remote days.
Virtual learning has been a big piece of our lives for almost a year now. For me, I've grown accustomed to this new way of learning. And though I miss my friends, it's not so bad after a while. My day usually starts off with me rolling out of bed and to my desk. During class, I have to admit that I don't pay as much attention to things as I should. Except in broadcasting, of course. Please don't fail me. I have the same thing for lunch every day, grilled cheese sandwiches. The key to a perfect sandwich experience is to not burn down the house. Then I hop back onto more classes, so that's cool. It's so much fun. That's my online day of learning. It might not be the junior experience I planned for, but at least I get to sleep an hour later.
Thanks, Morgan. I love getting to see what some people are up to when we aren't together in person.
Hopefully these remote days will start to happen less and less as we get closer to spring, though.
And as the weather gets warmer, we'll also be able to find out what sports will look like in the district this spring. B&B's Connor Ward has some spring sports news.
Thanks, Hannah. Yesterday, good news for high school athletes. New York State has given the okay on high-risk sports, but this is only if the Nassau County Health Department approves high-risk sports. So we are a step closer to high school sports in the spring, but we've still got a long way to go. Today, the Mepham track team has their third virtual meet as Dominic Novello, Joe Marcella, Camlin Blake look to start their strong start to the season. The Sharks had their second meet of the season, taking the win 94-44 over Herricks. Max Hahn, Amaze Nayuchichi, and Kevin Breslin led the way for the Sharks. For football fans, we finally have our Super Bowl matchup. Tom Brady is going to his 10th Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, taking on the defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs. The Jets have their new head coach, former 49ers defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. For the first time in a long time, Jets fans just might have a reason to be excited for the future. From B&B, I'm Connor Ward.
Thanks, Connor. Stay tuned to B&B shows to get the latest news about spring sports.
And make sure to watch the morning announcements next week to see B&B's annual freshman takeover.
That should be fun. Also, don't forget to stick around at the end of the show to see what Rob and Bickham have been up to behind the scenes of this episode.
Aside from that, that's it for this week's Midweek Update. We'll be back next week with all new stories from around the BMCHSD to bring you inside the parts of the community we don't always get to see.
Until then, I'm Haley Hepworth.
And I'm Hannah Broxmeyer, and we'll see you all next midweek.
I wouldn't surprise badminton. Badminton, I would most likely pull something, know myself. Pull something.
For the first time in a long time,
You know who Patrick Mahomes
we
is?
still got a long way to go. Today, the Mepham track
Hard
team
receiver.
has their third virtual meet as Dominic Novello, Joe Marcella, Ken Lou Blake look to start their strong start.
What, receiver?
The Sharks
No,
had their second
quarterback
lead of the
Chiefs
season,
won last
taking
year.
the win 94
Okay, so where'd you get a wide
Max
receiver
Hahn.
from? Sitcoms.
What?
Don't you watch sitcoms?
Yes, a lot.
How, you watch any new sitcoms lately?
Not new. Well, I've branched off into different ones, but I actually have watching mostly shows that have already ended.
Wait, what?
I don't know. It's
Star Trek is like fake Star Wars.
That's facts.
You know, Star Wars is inspired by Star Trek, and you would not have Star Wars without Star Trek.
Well, you know that I like Star Wars a lot more than I like Star Trek.
Maybe just
Apparently it's bad that we have a conversation, Pickle.
Yeah,
You hear
well,
this?
see, they aren't expecting a civil conversation. They always expect something extravagant.
Disgusting.
Yeah, Bickham, you should do some
This is an
push-ups.
atrocity. Holy.
Don't make me too harsh, man.
I'm not being harsh.
No, I'm being harsh.
No, don't worry about it, Bickham.
No, be harsh, Pickle. So, Pickle, what about like tennis?
I've played tennis. It's alright. I wouldn't like play it through the school, but
Pickle, I want to become a professional tennis player.
no, I'm not good.
Rafael Nadal.
How was Christmas?
That should be fun.
Alright,
Also,
how's
don't forget to
yours?
stick around at the
That's
end of
it?
the show
Alright.
to see what
Actually,
Bob
it was
and
good.
Bacon
You
have
give me
been
one
up
word
to
answers,
behind the
bro?
scenes of
Come
this
on.
episode.
That's so toxic.